I really cannot get good lighting to save my life today. Hey besties, and welcome back. Please excuse this lighting. Soon we'll be back in my studio, I promise, but there's a project going on in there and it's not filmable right now. So for now, we're working with what we've got. You know what's really been bothering me lately? The internet has rebranded self-care as something that it's not. We've all seen it, and you're lying if you say you haven't. The social media self-care posts where it's like, oh, bubble bath, hashtag self-care. Oh, face mask and a glass of wine, hashtag self-care. Y'all, that's not what self-care is. That is treating yourself. And I'm not going to say that people shouldn't do that and shouldn't enjoy that and shouldn't, if that's something that they prioritize, make that a part of their week every week. But that's not self-care. That is treating yourself. There's a big difference. All this aesthetically appealing self-care isn't what self-care is about. Not at its core. Real self-care isn't cute. It's not something that you post online. It's not something that you talk about. Real self-care is the ugly, unfiltered stuff that you keep hidden but you need to do to keep yourself going. Even when it hurts. Even when it's hard. Go ahead, look up self-care online. You know what you'll see? Flat lays, spa-seeming aesthetics. Literally everything. Face masks, hair masks, bubble baths, cozy night in with under eye masks in a set of matching pajamas. Cute. Cute. I'm not gonna say it's not cute. Everyone loves a cozy night in, but it's performative. It's, look how I'm taking care of myself when I'm pampering myself. Real self-care isn't something that you can buy. There can be some overlap between treating yourself and self-care, but real self-care isn't something that you can buy, isn't something that you can get done in a night. Real self-care is something that you force yourself to do when you really don't want to do it. Real self-care is dragging yourself out from bed rotting when there's nothing that you want more than to just stay in bed. Real self-care is brushing your teeth every day when your brain is saying, what's the point? Real self-care is finally doing your laundry. Real self-care is finally cleaning your place. Real self-care is finally calling your doctor and making that appointment that you've been putting off. It's finally answering those texts from your friends that are concerned about you but you haven't spoken to. It's eating an actual meal instead of just relying on caffeine to get you through the day. Real self-care is brushing your hair, washing your hair. It's not glamorous. It's survival. And because of that, this aesthetic version of self-care, I think, is actually pretty harmful. If you're struggling for any reason, physically, emotionally, mentally, you see these people posting that they have their life together and their self-care is doing a face mask. Their self-care is having this bubble bath. You see that they have all these perfect routines and then they get to treat themselves and they brand treating themselves as self-care and you start feeling like a failure. But that's the thing. You're not a failure. Just because your version of self-care is taking care of yourself and keeping yourself alive and it's not having a luxurious bubble bath with a glass of wine and a good book, if that's not your self-care, if you can't manage that, you're not a failure. You're not doing it wrong. You're just being real. The people that actually genuinely need self-care the most are the ones that can't afford the luxury version of it. Whether afford be financially or emotionally or even physically with their energy. Real self-care is setting boundaries. Real self-care is showing up for yourself. Real self-care is saying no to something that you really don't have the energy for when you always say yes to people please. Real self-care is going to therapy, is taking your meds if you have them, is getting up and actually cleaning when you feel like you can't. Real self-care is doing the work. Real self-care is pushing through every single part of you that says, I can't do this, and doing it anyways. And yes, that includes the simple things that you probably don't consider self-care. That includes getting out of bed, getting dressed, drinking water. I don't even drink water. That's a self-care thing I need to work on. It includes brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, showering, washing your hair. Honestly, self-care can involve journaling, getting all of your feelings out, talking to a friend and venting. Self-care is doing all the hard, messy, invisible work that people don't see and you don't get praised for and you don't talk about, but you need to do. So why don't we take back the meaning of self-care? Why don't we take back this definition? Why don't we stop letting the internet decide what's self-care and what isn't? Self-care isn't supposed to be aesthetic, it's supposed to be effective. If taking a shower, brushing your teeth, and doing the dishes was all that you could manage today, that's self-care. If you could only manage one of them, that's self-care. If you couldn't manage any of them, but you got out of bed, that is still self-care. Honestly, hot take, but if you ordered food delivery and you actually ate because you didn't have it in you to cook, but you knew that you needed to eat something, That is self-care. That might kind of line up with the aesthetic version is getting food delivery, but you know what? As long as you're eating something, that counts. Please don't get me wrong. There is some overlap between what online aesthetic self-care is and what real self-care is. Again, what people post on social media isn't self-care by default, it's treating yourself. Some people treating themselves is part of their self-care. I get acrylic nails. That's not treating myself, that is a necessary self-care step for me. I have eczema on my scalp. I will scratch at it, and if I don't have acrylics, I will rip my scalp open, it will be bleeding. It was rough. I went through a little patch without acrylics, and everyone in my life saw that I was constantly scratching at my scalp, and there was blood all over my scalp all the time. It was bad. So while for most people they would claim that acrylics are self-care, and I would disagree, for me, they are self-care. Some people, again, they're treating themselves is self-care. They just don't tell you all the dirty little details about their lives so you don't get it. I still believe in letting people enjoy things. I will never say, oh, you can't post that that's self-care, because it's not, because let people enjoy things. If it brings them joy, why stop them from doing it? But stop rewriting the narrative. If your self-care routine doesn't look like a TikTok or Instagram or YouTube self-care routine, you're not doing it wrong. It's not supposed to look like that. You're definitely doing it right. Obviously, I go to the salon a lot. I color my hair a lot. A lot of people would post salon days or self-care. I would unfortunately agree. Not for everybody. For myself it is. Because I have trauma tied to my identity of myself as a brunette. I have changed my hair color to distance myself from the trauma tied into that identity. Some people go to salon every week to get a wash and blow dry because they don't have it in them to wash their own hair. And that's perfectly fine. Again, I will never tell somebody that what they're calling self-care isn't self-care, but I do have to point out how much people have been rewriting the narrative on the definition. I'm not saying ban the aesthetic self-care. I'm saying include what self-care actually is. Normalize the core of self-care. Self-care is supposed to be whatever actually helps you function. Be it because you have a chronic illness, be it because you have depression, be it any mental illness, be it neurodivergency. Self-care is doing the things that you have to do to be a functioning person, not whatever looks cute online. It's not pretty. It's not sparkly or feminine or even easy. It's raw, it's unfiltered, it's ugly. It's doing the things that you don't want to do. It's facing the parts of yourself that you don't want to face. It's real. And that's what matters most. I know that for myself lately, I've been struggling a little bit because everything that could go wrong has been going wrong in my house. My version of self-care lately has been redoing my bathroom. That's been my self-care, because it's been keeping me in a stable mental place. But I will say one of the self-care things that I've let slide is I haven't been getting dressed in real clothes. I've been in sweats every day. Even right now. You can't see it, but sweatpants. Would it be self-care for me to get fully dressed? Absolutely. Am I doing it? Probably not. That's not saying that if you're wearing sweats that you're not taking care of yourself, because like you can be. Everyone deserves to have a day where they don't need to get changed out of their PJs or their sweats. But me doing social media as my job, working from home, I wear sweats all the time. For me, it's self-care to actually get dressed. Versus someone that goes into the office who has to get dressed for work every day, having a day where they get to just stay in sweats, that's self-care for them. I definitely agree, a reset day is an important part of self-care for most people. A day during the week where you can just zone out and not need to make any decisions and not need to worry about anything, that can definitely be self-care. I need that a lot of the time, and I work for myself. But the amount of times that I need a day where I just don't have to make any decisions, the amount of times I've told my husband, I'm not making any decisions today, don't make me. It's setting boundaries and it's knowing what you need, and that's the self-care. All the treating yourself might make you feel better, but it's not self-care. It's an add-on to self-care. So if your self-care routine is messy, it's ugly, it's not even a routine. It's things that you don't consider self-care. Even if it's just you getting out of bed and brushing your teeth and rotting on the couch for the rest of the day, you're still doing self-care right. From one neurodivergent chronic illness girly to another, you've got this. You're killing it. I love you. If you needed to hear this message today, please give the video a thumbs up, not only because it boosts the video in the algorithm and helps my small channel get out there, but also because I need to know that I'm not alone in feeling like this. If you're working on redefining self-care for yourself, let me know in the comments how that looks for you, because I genuinely would love to hear other people's takes on it. If you connected with this in any way, if this helped you at all, please make sure to subscribe. I put out new videos every Wednesday, Sunday, and then alternating Mondays and Fridays. Wednesdays are beauty/lifestyle videos, but sometimes you'll have me throwing in some neurodivergent or chronic illness videos here and there. Take care of yourself. The real kind, not the social media kind. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
I don't know, but I've been told the world outside is oh so cold.